Hello there, everyone. Welcome to Grown with the Grippies. This is segment 3 of breastfeeding tips. So, I got a few questions last night about breastfeeding. It wasn't last night. It was probably around 2:30 this morning. But since I was up breastfeeding my little one, I just kind of perused Facebook, and I got asked about breastfeeding positions. What's my favorite? What are the different types? What's my go-to? I was talking to a mother, and she said that she's actually been having some difficulties with figuring out a comfortable position. So I decided to check in on that. So I have this little book here. So I'm going to go off of that and then my little notes. So if you see me looking down. So the first one is the Cradle or Madonna Posture. So I don't know if you can see this here. So I'm going to show you that. So that's that posture here, right? So basically, that one is the mother sits in a position that is comfortable. The baby lies on her side, facing the mother, baby, girl, or boy. The side of the baby's head and body rests on the mother's forearm of the arm next to the breast being used. Okay, I'm going to show you that again. That's actually my favorite pose. It's called the Cradle or Madonna Posture. When I use this position, I can then hold my breast, and that helps to keep the baby's head in position. Say if the baby is going across your here, and you need to kind of, if you have larger breasts, or if you're a new mom and new at breastfeeding and you're trying to position that nipple into the baby's mouth, you kind of with that other arm you can kind of hold it and get it into the baby's mouth, whereas that other arm is here and it's underneath and holding the baby like in the crook of your arm, how most people hold babies that way. I also like that pose because as the baby gets older, you can kind of use your hand, that alternate hand, to hold the baby's head, especially if you're out and you're breastfeeding. And even if you have on a wrap, sometimes a cover up, sometimes those babies, they wiggle around or they get smart and they'll toss it off of you, or they'll try to peek out or look through. I've had my babies do so many of those things, and it's just like, oh, don't do that, I'm out. What are you doing? You're going to expose me. Because oftentimes moms, people don't even know you're breastfeeding unless you just completely lift, just show your whole shirt up on both sides. But why would you do that? They're only using one breast. So a lot of times, you can just kind of lift your shirt up a little bit, and baby can peek out. And if the baby is in your lap, you kind of just lean in a little bit, and they can't really tell. They just think that the baby is just resting on your lap sleeping. Funny story, my sister is about 17 years older than I am. So when she was breastfeeding, I had never heard of breastfeeding. I had never seen anyone breastfeed. And she would put like a little, like the little burp cloth or something like that, or the little blanket. She may have had a wrap, I'm not sure, over the shoulder, kind of tucked it in and had it on her, and then would have her baby on her lap, and we might be out at a restaurant, and she just crossed her legs. When you cross your legs and you kind of just do one of those numbers, and then that's usually what I do with the knee up, and then you just kind of like lay the baby there, so they're on your lap and they're kind of sleeping, you have them on your arm. And she just went ahead and fed the baby, and I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm feeding the baby, no one knows. And I'm just like, somebody's gonna see you. So she's just like, no one knows if you just calm down. So I was just like, oh my goodness, couldn't hardly eat my food, like someone is gonna see her. But that's something that I do now. I laugh about, but I do that all the time. And people, they don't even know half the time, especially if they're under a wrap. They just think you're trying to put the baby to sleep. I've had guy friends come up, play with the baby's toes, move them, hold their hands, and do all kind of stuff. And then later they're like, you haven't fed the baby. When are you going to feed the baby? Or you want me to get a baby a bottle, sis? And I'm like, I fed the baby, and they, oh, I thought he was asleep. I fed him. He was under there, or he was dream feeding. And they're just like, what's dream feeding? I said, yes, babies can drink milk while they're sleeping or partially asleep or whatever. It's a reflex. So they're like, wait a minute, so you were feeding a baby under there? I didn't see you get a bottle. I'm breastfeeding. Oh, so that's why I said I like that one. And then I'll go on to the next page where they have the cross cradle position. I've tried that position with my different babies. As I said, I have breastfed 5 babies, so I've definitely tried all the positions, especially when baby's cranky or you can't get them on good. So you just try to see what works. So it says this position is considered especially useful for the mother of a newborn or preterm infant. The mother sits in a posture that is comfortable. The infant lies on his or her side facing the mother. The side of the infant's body rests on the opposite forearm of the mother, on the opposite side of the breast being used. The hand supports the baby's neck and shoulders in such a way that the baby can't tilt his or her head. So you're kind of just bracing your hand behind the baby's head. And I will give a demonstration with my little one if he allows me to a little bit later after I go through these. And I will go in order so you'll know which ones they are. And like I said, I have tried that one when my baby was smaller, but as they get larger, they can kind of sit or lean. So, it's unnecessary for me. The football or clutch posture. I have done that, but being a small woman and having babies that are, have long legs, is because their legs go under your arm. I'm going to read that description. The football or clutch posture. The mother sits in any position that is comfortable. The infant lies on his or her back, curled between the side of the mother's chest and her arm. The infant's upper body is supported by the mother's forearm. The mother's hand supports the infant's neck and shoulders. The infant's hips are flexed up along the chair, back, or another surface that the mother is leaning against. So I'll show that again. So you kind of see the baby's legs are tucked back that way. So with a long baby, those legs are kind of either behind a pillow, or if you're sitting on a couch or something like that, it may not work for you. Depending on your size. Like I said, I'm a small woman. I'm 5'4", so I don't have, maybe enough body to hold the baby up further enough. I don't know. So they usually just kind of get a little stuck. So the next one is the semi-reclining. So that's that one there. So for you mothers who have those recliner chairs or those nursing chairs with the little stool and everything like that, that's pretty cool. And you can even do that in the bed. I'm in a bed right now. If you prop your pillows a certain way, and I have one of those, like the little pillows with the arm on it, where you can get them to kind of sit up, and I always use that. And then put another pillow behind me to kind of keep my posture up a little bit. Because that's something, sometimes we kind of hunch a little bit when you're breastfeeding. So sometimes I'll lean back a little bit, even in that Madonna pose, that cradle hold, like that. I'll kind of lean and just kind of let the baby lean in towards me a little bit. And you can also use things like the boppy pillow if you have one, and sit that on your lap, and then that'll add to the height. Or you can even use an extra pillow if it's hard, like some mothers who've had C-sections and things like that, they find it hard to kind of bend. So, they might want to lean back some and then put, that boppy or that extra pillow up there. And then you see like that's right at, breast line. So all you just put that baby right there, and they're right there, and you don't have to do much, and they're supported by that. Just throw that arm there, hold that baby's head. I actually hear my little one out there now, so he's probably wanting some milk. So it says the mother sits in a comfortable semi-reclining posture. The mother leans back and the baby lies against her body, usually prone. So that's, laying that way. The sideline posture, the mother lies on their side. So they're just going back through that. Let's see. Another one, mothers can nurse laying sideways. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. It focused. So that's the sideline position, and then this is the Australian pose. So I'll get to the top one, the Australian position. Okay. I'm sorry about that. That was my little one. So mother's sideline. So I'll show you that one again, because the top one, that is my favorite position. The sideline, you can't beat it. Especially, you don't have to co-sleep. With my kids, I would just nurse them sideline, and then I would either, wrap them back up and put them back in their crib. Or, if you're co-sleeping, then that's even better. With my last two, I actually did co-sleep. And, well, they went from bassinet to kind of co-sleep, and I had some wrist problems. So it was hard for me to get the baby in and out of out of their larger crib because we had to drop it down so low. And like I said, I'm short. So bending in there, pulling the baby out with, sore wrists. I'll cover that later. It just didn't work out. So we ended up co-sleeping. So the sideline position, like I said, that's really great because you just lie on your side, and you just have to worry about just holding your breast to feed the baby. Or after baby's got it, honestly, I kind of just say, if this was the bed, I don't know if you can see me. There we go. I just lay on the bed like this, and I have my pillow kind of propped, and I'll put my head like this, and the baby is laying here, and they just get on the breast. And then for the other side, sometimes I'll pick the baby up and switch him to the other side. But since he's larger, I really don't have to do that. I just make sure I have enough space, and I might prop it like another pillow up on top so that I can kind of lean in this way. But he's, like I said, he's bigger now, so if I want him to have the other side, I'll just kind of lean that way, and he's here. Nothing is obstructed. He's breathing and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not leaning in on him because I'm obviously not asleep, but it helps you still get some rest. So that's my favorite position in his, because now he goes back and forth from side to side. Or if he wants the other one, he'll push me onto my back and actually climb on top of me and do the Australian pose. So that's the pose I'm getting to now. This last one here, the Australian pose, when you're laying on your back and then the baby is on your chest. Now, that's something that they actually do, like instinctional, after they're born. So I've had 3 of my babies do this in the hospital, and after you've just had the baby and they're just kind of laying on you, and it's called they call it a bear crawl, or the mother is down under, when Australian pose or something like that. So they lay on you, and then they kind of just I don't know if they smell you, they smell your milk or your your scent, or if it's just their instincts. I'm not exactly sure what it is. Like I said, I am not a lactation consultant. I'm not a professional, just a mom who has done her research and has breastfed 5 babies for 13 months each, 20 months with one of them. So, and currently breastfeeding now. So that's why I'm trying to get those tips out there while everything is still fresh, even though I think I'll never forget. So he likes to do that one. So the baby, what they do is, like, if you lay them on, they'll just kind of find the breast. Yes, I know moms, some of you are like, well, my breasts aren't perky anymore. They're huge, they're big, whatever. They're off to the side or whatever. Hey, just, pull that sucker back over to the middle or something. But, because often when we lay down, they depending, they might go this way or that way, so you just kind of move it on over if that's what happens with you. And then for women who have a smaller breast, then it's just sitting right there in the middle, so it's right there, and that baby just crawls up, and then they kind of just latch on. And I actually like it that way, because then it's no question that they're like just getting on. It's like a target, in the middle. It's just kind of sitting there, and they're able to get on, versus, and you don't have to, really help. You might be able to, just kind of position or help them out a little bit, or support their bottom if you're on your back, or keep, kind of keep them from rolling off from side to side by kind of cradling them. But my baby, he's a little bit older. He actually likes that position again, and he liked that when he was a baby as well. And you might even be able to get you a couple winks of sleep if the baby is latched on good, and you just kind of like, okay. Or they might fall asleep there. Usually my babies like that position, or the sideline position. They kind of use me as a pacifier sometimes. That's that non-nurturative sucking, when they're and I'll cover that in another episode, when they like they use you as a pacifier. Basically, you're mouthing and suckling like if they were on a pacifier, but they're not. They're on you. So now you're the milk pacifier, as I call it. So I think that's about it for right now as far as that portion. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring my baby in, so that hopefully I can show you how those positions look with the actual baby, even though, like I said, he's larger now. He's 1 year old, so it might look a little bit different for you. Okay, as you can see, I picked up my little mister, and he's deciding that he wants to just get into position already, because he knows what time it is. So this is actually He's trying to get, I know, he's trying to get the milk. So, oh, he says, I want the milk. So this is actually the cradle position. Hold on, he is not cooperating. Let me, nope, put that to the side. So what I was saying is, before you know, just lift that bra up a little bit. Can't see. You put, so this is what I do, and then I kind of put my hand, watch out. I just kind of put my hand there. So I'm actually breastfeeding right now. So I have that leg up. So sometimes if you're sitting in a chair, you can kind of cross your legs to kind of give you a little bit more support if your baby is smaller. That arm is underneath baby's butt, underneath the baby's head. And this hand here is to keep him from turning his head. And put that down and exposing me. Put that down. Okay, thank you, Jocelyn. Let's see. The next position, let's see if he'll let me actually...
This is the mommy.
Yes, switch positions. Is the
this is
cross cradle posture. So the cross cradle posture, that's when you would
mommy and baby.
Use the opposite hand to support the baby, and then
Mama.
And then you can hold your breast there or something like that. But it will be underneath him. It's kind of hard to do right now because he's larger, but it will be under him like that. So that's that cross cradle position. He's a little heavy now. He's about 22 pounds, so that's a little more awkward, and he's actively drinking milk right now. The football or clutch posture. Let's see if he'll let me swing his little legs around while he's still attached there. So that's how you would do that. That position right there. And actually, as you can see, he's still actively nursing while I'm doing all of this. And that next one, back up. That next one would be the semi-reclining.
Yeah, the Dossie baby.
It's heavy. So we're gonna lean back a little bit. So that's that semi-reclining, you know, a position that's comfortable for you, and then you just kind of lean back, hold that baby. And you see he's just resting, and his face is actually kind of laying on my breast a little bit, but his nose and everything is up. Yes, and he's drinking milk. And then we have that side-lying nursing. Well, actually, I'll skip that one first, and then I'll do the Australian posture. So that's the one when baby is laying on you like this, and you're just laying back. You can be flat. He doesn't want to lay like that. See, his favorite position is the side lying, so he's trying to do that right now. But that position, watch out, Jocelyn, I can't see. So laying there like that. Now he's trying to look around. Get off my hair. So the sideline position, let's see if I can do that. I have 2 other children on my bed right now. It's one other child that you can't see, my big boy. So the sideline position.
Come on, buddy.
Wait a minute. Let me fix my shirt. So, scoot over, Jocelyn. You can't see the baby. So with him laying on the side and then me comfortably laying like this. And like I said, I have my pillows and I'm kind of propped. And just lay like that, and you can, you know, get you a few winks of sleep while they're doing that. And then if you want to switch, let's see if I can get him to unlatch. That's what that other hand is for. You kind of break that suction. I know. And then get him on the other side. So I kind of just leaned in to the other side. So I'm just leaning like that. And that's it. And he's actually looking a little tired and is falling asleep right now. So that's all for the positions. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification bell. This was the different ways of breastfeeding and what my favorite was. Thank you for watching Growing with the Griffeys. Another breastfeeding segment. Hit that button for me, John.
Okay.